social media companies, they have to show America their algorithms.
Nikki Haley, and I consider myself friendly with Nikki Haley. She's had dinner at my house. She is a fine lady. I obviously do not agree with her on everything. She said something that was pretty scary a couple days ago on the Ruthless podcast. She went on there and you'll see she's now, I think we're showing you a Fox News clip if I'm not mistaken, right? It's from Fox News. She followed up on the notion that she brought up on the Ruthless podcast about how she wants to require every person on social media to be verified by ID, meaning no anonymous accounts on social media. Here she is.
When I get into office, the first thing we have to do, social media accounts, social media companies, they have to show America their algorithms. Let us see why they're pushing what they're pushing. The second thing is every person on social media should be verified by their name. That's, first of all, it's a national security threat. When you do that, all of a sudden people have to stand by what they say, and it gets rid of the Russian bots, the Iranian bots, and the Chinese bots. And then you're going to get some civility when people know their name is next to what they say.
Accountability.
And they know their pastor and their family member is going to see it. It's going to help our kids, and it's going to help our country.
Okay, so there's a couple things here. First off, the first concept that she said, which is that I would go into the social media companies and make them show their algorithms. We've discussed this before. It is unclear if the social media companies know what's going on in their algorithms altogether. As Elon Musk literally told me personally, the Twitter code is a fractal Rube Goldberg machine. Remember Rube Goldberg machine, the beginning of Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, the ball that drops into the thing and it fills up the water and it knocks down the dominoes and everything else, and a fractal version of that, meaning it is so layered, it is so confused. It's been written 20 years ago by many people who are no longer at the company. And by the way, this goes for Google, this goes for Facebook, this goes for YouTube and everywhere else. That the idea that that government agents could walk in to Google or Twitter or elsewhere and be like, show us the algorithm, like some middle management pathetic government employee with a hard hat could, well, I want to see the algorithm and I'm going to figure it out. Like the very notion of that is sort of completely ridiculous. The concept, like intellectually, would it be nice if we knew what the algorithms were saying and which way they were pushing you? If you happen to watch a Rubin Report video and I say something that might, let's say, push you this way a little bit, is the YouTube algorithm trying to counter that with a whole bunch of other things because they don't want you to think things that I think? So the concept in theory actually makes some sense that we should know about the algorithms. But in terms of what the government can do and how the government might use that against you ultimately, I think you see my point. Now, on the more sort of, let's say, scary side of this thing, she's saying that anonymous accounts online are a national security threat. And she's talking about these Russian and Iranian bots and all that. First off, there's two different things happening here. On one hand, the ability for people to be anonymous online. Look, I find it to be a massive headache all the time, right? Because the people that write the worst things to me all day long, and I assure you in the last month it's been worse than ever, they're always anonymous. That's how it is. And you have no idea which ones of them are bots. And now with AI, the bots can be really clever and really come across like they're people. But the idea that people should be allowed to be anonymous, you know, the Federalist Papers were written by anonymous founders of this country because they did not want to get in trouble with the king over in Britain, you know? So there is obviously a reason that people should be able to have anonymity, as annoying as it is. Now, if she wanted to figure out a way to encourage, let's say, the big tech companies to go after the bots. Yes, the bots are a huge problem because what's happening is we're seeing people be swarmed so that you cannot gauge what's true. So if you were to just say something completely ambivalent, right? Water is wet. You will get a jillion bots in your account. You think you're a racist because you think water is wet. What about vapor and blah, blah, blah. And they look like real people, and it can actually dysregulate what you think. And then 3 days later, you're like, I don't know if water is wet. So there is a problem with bots and the people who are manipulating all of that. And we know obviously a huge amount is coming out of Russia and China and Iran and everywhere else. But the idea that you would take away anonymity altogether is nuts.